Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be starting my dahlias indoors. I'm doing this process so that I can see which tubers are viable before I put them out in the garden and not waste my time with some that may not come up at all. So I will just be putting these on a windowsill. I don't have grow lights or heat mats. So I'm starting with this bluebird dahlia, and there are 3 in the package. I purchased these at Home Depot. Last year I had gotten all my tubers at Walmart. So the next one is the bluebell dahlia, and these also have 3 tubers, and they are supposed to get up to between 36 and 40 inches high. The depth of planting is supposed to be 6 inches deep and requires full sunlight. Now, some of these already had been growing in the bag and have eyes, so I should have good luck with at least, I think, 1 in each package had some growth in it already. So as you can see, I'm using these baking pans to start my dahlias. I do not have holes in them, so I'm just adding potting soil on top of the dahlias and covering them up lightly. It is a pre-moistened soil, but it is not very wet at all. As far as I understand, you don't want to give the dahlias a whole lot of moisture at this point in time, so you don't want them to be all wet and soggy. But I wanted to make sure that the soil was a little damp as I was preparing them. So here I have 4 tubers. These are a Miracle Grow. They're just a mix of various pinks and peach colored dahlias. Also should grow about 36 to 40 inches tall and planted 6 inches deep in full sun. So a lot of these also had quite a bit of growth on them, and they were looking pretty good. Lots of eyes were showing already, so that's a positive, and these seem to be very healthy for the most part. And then I was finding that it looked like I could possibly split some of them up, and I was easily able to pry off a piece. And so now, instead of only having 4, I actually ended up with a few extra pieces. I was able to rip off this other piece that had actually an eye that was already growing, and just had to cut out a few more pieces. So this is going to be a viable tuber on its own. I definitely got more than what was in the box. So this last one seemed to have a little bit of possibly some mold growing on it. I wasn't quite sure. And it was kind of big also, so I tried to see if I could split it, but I ended up giving up. There wasn't an easy split in there, and I decided to keep it separate from all the other ones and pot it up in its own pot and not contaminating any of the other ones. And so similarly, I just took potting soil and covered these up in the tray, and have them sitting there ready to start sprouting. So next up are the tubers I had saved from last year. These are my penhill watermelon tubers. They are not looking great, but I am going to see if they will be viable. They don't seem to show any eyes at all. They are a bit dry. Again, I'm using some moist soil and just covering them up as best as I can and keeping an eye on them. I think one of them might actually be successful, but I just don't have a whole lot of hope on these. I'm still trying to learn on how to store these properly, but I'm hoping I can be successful with at least one of them. So I had three that I potted up here, and then later I did find this extra one, which actually looks even better than the first three that I put in the tray. So here are all the tubers in the trays out. I have them at a window. This is not the sunniest window, but it's the only window I had space in. And you'll see several of them are sprouting already and really kind of showing a lot more growth in some cases. Some of them are very small little signs of growth. As you can see there's a little eye there. I don't know if it'll be easy to see. But yeah, so these are looking pretty healthy and doing really well. My ones from last year, none of them made it except for maybe these penhill watermelon. So I'll keep you posted on how these progress, and if my penhill watermelons make it through and I was successful in storing them. And my goal is to plant all these out maybe the weekend after Mother's Day. So we'll see how many of all of these make it through. So thank you again for joining me and for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.